Hello? Hang on, I've got the wrong stream on, haven't I? Whoopsie. Is that one better? Hello? Oh, yep, there it is. Oh, hello again. Well, that was very rude of them, wasn't it? They stopped me in my tracks there. But yes, we are back now and raring to get going. Well, before I was rudely interrupted, we were saying that we cannot. Oh, I've missed a lot of. Yeah, oh, sorry, I was just reading the chat to make sure I haven't missed anything. But yeah, before I was reading the instructions, we can never forget about cars. Sadly, unfortunately, we've got the stream's now been split up into two, which upsets me royally. But nevertheless, then we'll get going soon enough, and we'll be hopefully getting on for a good race indeed. Then, of course, thank you very much for keeping with us, guys, because yeah, it's been a pretty difficult one tonight, hasn't it? Luckily, I had a quiche earlier on, which apparently was meant to serve four people, but I don't believe that for a second. I demolished that bad boy quite quickly, but I was quite starving Marvin really. As I for once I packed me, no, I've been packing some lunch this week to save some dosh rather than going to Tesco's and spending £3.90 on those damn meal deals, which they've got it by 90p, shocking and stuff. Maybe I should just get a club card, but I'm just being lazy. But nonetheless, and yes, I did take me lunch in today to work, and unfortunately, I had it by 10 o'clock, which wasn't very good. So yes, I treated myself to a big old quiche, then, which I thought I was going to have a slice. In the end, I had all four. But is that my fault? Yes, it is indeed. Then mine is bigger than my belly. A quick reminder as well, and tomorrow night is the 100% league race there, of course. I'm sure you're getting fed up with me just reminding you. But yeah, it is the French Grand Prix, and that's a very good preview, isn't it, for what's to come in the French race in a couple of weeks' time. Of course, we do have a break after tonight. Then, Percy saying that Brooksy finally doing well. Then, yes, I echo that entirely because Brooksy has had a very difficult start to the season, hasn't he? But he's only had 4 points in his season so far, and that was back in Bahrain. And so hopefully this is a catalyst there for him to really kick on now. So I do have my fingers crossed for Brooks. I have my fingers crossed for that we actually get a race going tonight as well. Goodness gracious me. But yeah, so hopefully Burnt Mylander stays in his box. And we don't really want him out at all, to be honest. Or do we? Well, yes, a safety car does create more havoc there. We've only got 19 cars in the field then. So I'm not sure if someone's had to drop out or whatnot. But yes, we're now getting going then, as it is and hopefully this is the final countdown before we get into the race itself, and which is a shame really, because I enjoyed that sprint race as well, and I was revving up and raring to go for the race itself. We've still got 36 laps around here. Of course, it's the quickest lap there, so luckily it is the shortest lap there, but we do have 36 laps around here, and it is tendency to rain around here as well. I haven't heard about the weather forecast here in the Styria Mountains, but you can never rule it out, can you? And remember that Knowlesy in the first season of ALR and the second season of ALR, if I remember rightly, was cost the victory around here, wasn't it? Of course, the rain came at the exact right time on both seasons, didn't it, there for Knowlesy, which is unfortunate. I think it cost Dan Murphy as well one season as well, if I remember. I think Dan Murphy was second at the time in that season 2 race, where absolutely incredible development indeed. That last night there, I think we went from dry to wet, didn't we? It very much changed, didn't it? And it was absolutely pouring down. It was almost borderline wet tires, wasn't it? Halfway through the race, it was incredible to see most of those drivers staying on the track. It was absolutely superb to watch. It was skillish above me. Cranium could even fathom there. I think cranium's your head. I was meant to say something that had that meant brain or something. I don't know. Anyway, I'm going a bit doolally here, and I in the old commentary box. But yes, we're hopefully getting ready to get going indeed. That whilst we've been on there for quite a while, well, technically we haven't now, but I was going to say that just a quick update for the drivers and the constructor standings. We haven't put in the drivers out for the sprint just yet, but it is Dynamo Dan. It's still leading the way in the championship with Jenner in second there. Jenner is actually taking out points there from the sprints there. Let's see how this one goes then. I think virtual Le Mans is more stable than F1 service, and I am Leet is saying. Well, Max Verstappen was saying something different about that, but I think I do humbly agree with you, to be honest, because I don't think they ever get dodgy safety cars randomly appear before the start of the race. I think that's the first time I've ever seen a safety car come out for the start of the race. I've seen it come out during qualifying 3, which has ruined our qualifying every now and again. Which I think it was 1 year. I can't remember what was it? For some reason, I'm thinking it's Austria again. Billets left the session, and that's not good at all, is it? And he may not be able to return to this session, so he might be down to 18 cars in here rather than 19 now. But I can't see Vintage in at all, so Vintage may not be able to take the start at all. Unfortunately, he's having a nightmare tonight, isn't he? Billet is. So hopefully we're going to get started now. I'm in the wrong car. I am wrong car at the game crash. Then Mazepin was on track. Then I am Lita saying that I thought I heard the last of Mazepin there. Certainly not then. So if he was on track there, that's why the safety car is out before, even if Mazepin didn't even start driving, of course. So Billet has had issues there. The game has crashed, and I'm not sure if Billet's going to be able to take his car, because I can't even see him in that list there, which is not good at all there for Billet, is it? That is such a shame there. Kaz is in the Ferrari for some reason, and Billet's in the Aston, that's why. Oh my goodness gracious me. Billet, so Kaz is in the Ferrari, whilst Billet is in the Aston Martin. They will still score, even though they're in different teams, different cars. They will still score. So Kaz will still score 19, still score for Aston Martin, and Billet will still score for Aston Martin. So yes, that's so do not worry about that, folks. If you're trying to keep tabs at home, which I gotta say, better you than me, to be honest, especially on a Tuesday as well. Goodness gracious me. Yes, fantastic stuff indeed there. But of course, we was on the break next week, wasn't we, there? So, hoping this is just us there, as Billet can't take control, unfortunately, there. And I think it's because it's the same problem that unfortunately Vintage had in the other race there, and I think the Billet there, unfortunately, unable to take control. It's the same thing that happened to Cirrus Mushroom as well on the same thing happened to Cirrus Mushroom as well in the Spanish Grand Prix. My fault, do remember picking a car. Sorry, so Kaz has unfortunately not picked a car, and oh goodness me then. So it's anarchy at the back there as we are getting ready to hopefully get going again here, because we have had quite a elongated Austrian Grand Prix here in bronze. The lights are on, and when they go out, we'll hopefully be racing again. And I swear some has changed tyres. We're racing here, and it's go here in Austria, and the Alpine Kiki is already in the wall there as we go up into turn 1 here. And let's see how this one transpires. It's a cleaner start than what he had in the sprint race. It is indeed. They all get away nicely, and well, just about nicely anyway. And now they come up into UMAP Bros kept us lead here with Brooksy in second position. We've got Carbrine on the inside. The yellow flag as Collins is off, and we've had a humongous issue down the top of the hill. Sigismund has gone as well. Both Mercedes out of the race here, and now we have a safety car. Stiles is stuck, and that Mercedes is just parked to the top of the hill. We have lost so many cars in the opening couple of laps here, and Stiles is stuck there. I think you can reset the track if you're stuck like that, but otherwise he's going to get disqualified here, Stiles is. But we have a safety car which is now meant to be on track there, and Stiles has been disqualified because he was stuck on the curb there and didn't want to reset the track. There's a rule about resetting the track, and this is I gotta say, it's been a challenging race, hasn't it, for all concerned. We're down to 15 runners and riders in this one, and my goodness me, this race is going to be an absolute this is absolute anarchy here in the Austrian Grand Prix here. So safety car is now waiting to pick up the leaders. Then we have lost we've lost 5 drivers in essence there. We have lost Vintage. Unfortunately, he didn't return to the lobby. We have lost Billet then, who unfortunately games crashed, and now he is unfortunately unable to take control of his car and has been disqualified. Sigismund was disqualified as well. I'm not sure if yes. Well, I think he didn't get off the line, did he? Stiles got disqualified for getting beached on the curb. Unfortunately, didn't reset the track there. So hats off to Stiles there for remembering the rules there. But unfortunately, that cost him, didn't it? And we've also lost Collins as well, who had a humongous crash up the hill, which I think also collected Collins as well. So Billet is devastated. He's out of the race there. He's not a happy chappy at all, is he? Billet is. What a shame there. Kaz is now in the Ferrari, but of course that is only just for today, as he forgot to select his car. Troy then has said, "You mad, bro?" And he's also saying that Austria has taken no prisoners today. Certainly, Austria certainly isn't, is he? We also heard Dynamo Dan mention some drivers have changed tyres. I know that Brooksy was on the medium tyres, wasn't he? I can't remember who else was. It's been so long ago, hasn't there? This race has been absolutely incredible. We have lost 5 drivers already in this one. An absolutely brutal start indeed here in Austria. There is the tyre strategy at the moment. You mad, bro, is leaning on the harder tyres, but Brooksy will have a pace advantage at this stage, and Brooksy would like to needs to use his pace advantage quite quickly here tonight as well. Jinner in third position with Marsky is in fourth at the moment. TK in fifth on hard tyres. He was our pole sitter. Finished third and sprinting, is now down to fifth at this moment now. Carl Bryan in sixth position. He is on soft tyres. Watch him fly. Serious Mushroom in seventh. Eighth position is the championship leader, Dynamo Dan. Tomo Tip top at ninth, and Duncan Dave in top 10 then. This is a good day for drivers to get some major points in their account here. Swanshanks in 12th position. That's one driver that needs a good haul of points, I think. Scooby Stew in 13th position, with Kiki on his debut in the Alpine in 14th, and Kaz, who's not meant to be in a Ferrari but is in a Ferrari, in 15th position and is now onto the medium compound tyres in. So hopefully a safety car will be in at the end of this lap, then we'll be going back racing again then. We haven't done much racing tonight, have we? Collins drove into me. Goku Styles is staying then, and because Styles then was stuck on the curb, wasn't he? And hats off to him for not resetting the track there, but I think in that instance you would have been allowed to set the track there for Collins, but sorry for Styles. So he is absolute. After all that waiting, then we have lost 5 drivers almost in an instant before we even got to turn 3. So I do feel for all those drivers out there who have had the patience of saints tonight, and have unfortunately have been rewarded with absolutely little in this one. Absolutely little indeed. Then it has been a tough one. This one has in bronze. We seem to always have issues in bronze, don't we? Always the same in ALR history, where we've had to delay Vietnam a couple of times as well, haven't we? Back in yesteryears, we have also had to delay, I think, Saudi Arabia this season as well, just to name a few. Is that You Mad Bro leading the way down? You Mad Bro, I don't think has won a race yet this season. He certainly hasn't been on pole position yet this season, and I don't think he's won a race either, as he hasn't been. He's had 3 podiums to his name, and he would love to get a win, wouldn't he, tonight? Especially with his a couple of championship roles. I have an issue there, but Jinner is now the third then, and Jinner at this moment, and he can take the lead in the championship. But it's saying then, I want to compete, and it is so unfair that I couldn't start the competition because of a bug then, but it's saying, I do feel you, Billet, because it's happened. It happened to Serious Mushroom. Serious Mushroom was absolutely fuming in the Spanish Grand Prix when he wasn't able to take the start. It is absolutely rubbish. Vintage has had it already as well tonight, and I think Cass had it as well. It is shocking stuff indeed there for the Formula 1 game tonight. It really is indeed there, where we've had to have 3 or 4 lobby restarts, and because the safety car keeps coming out and giving us all kinds of anarchy there, and unfortunately it has cost 3 drivers tonight a chance to race. Really, we have lost a bit because he couldn't take control of his car. I'm sure Sticker's Muck also might be in the same boat as well, because I didn't see where it happened to him then. Also, we had Kaz and Vintage as well, and I think the Vintage didn't even take this start, did he? And I'm not sure if that's because it's too late, or if that's just because he was fed up of having all the issues, of the game having all the issues there, which I don't blame him whatsoever. I want to race today, and only for a bug I can't then. As Carbine is off the circuit there, as we just got going again, and Carbine on those soft tyres there, unfortunately, has dropped down the order, and now back racing again. Echo is all over the back of Duncan Dave, but Jinner's up the inside. inside them, but Brooksy is not yielding that one, is he? And we're back racing, and so hopefully we get some racing laps going here tonight. Then it has been very difficult. Both passes, Lionel Stern in 5th and 6th position, and Echo is alongside Duncan David up the inside, and he takes 9th position, I should say. I got there in the end, and it passes Duncan Davis down 10th position. It's a good opportunity today for Duncan Davis to get some major points in the Aston Martin machine. And we've also Scooby Stew now up into his superb 11th position there. Scooby Stew will never drive that. It will be licking his lips there intently. I have no doubt about that. Of really putting the pressure on, getting some decent points for the McLaren team. Talking to McLaren, and Tomo tip top is and I think that there is a slight nudge there from Echo, which I'm not sure if it caused him to spin or not, but I think it might have contributed ever so slightly there. Maybe I'm being harsh there, but maybe it might have unsettled the car ever so slightly potentially. But either way, Tomo tip top down to the back of the field then, lap 6 of this Grand Prix, and Brooksy is having a look going into turn 1 then. Look at that then, is the incline into turn 1 there. It's so inviting for the driver, which is behind you. No DRS yet, and it'll be the end of this lap then when we have DRS there, but Brooksy's not waiting for DRS, and he's going for a traditional overtake then. Collins is up for session there. Up the inside goes Brooksy, and he does it. He's taken the lead there, but Umapro wants his first race to win the season. Jenner wants his third race to win the season. There he is in the background. Marski up into a superb 4th position as well, and Jenner's going for it. Look at this, he's coming free right, going down into turn 4, and he takes the lead there, but Brooksy's on the outside there. Remember what happened in the sprint race on Sunday, and now Brooksy is on the inside there, and he's going to go for it. He has a look there, contact between Jenner and Brooksy. Brooksy leads the race. Fantastic driving from all three there. Magnificent stuff indeed then, and now Brooksy leads the way with Jenner in 2nd position. Umapro in for Marski in a superb 4th. It's great to see the AlphaTauri team. Well, unless you're not AlphaTauri driver, very much at the sharp end of the field then as we come through to complete lap 6, and DRS now being able, then Brooksy needs to really scamper off into the distance now, doesn't he? Remember what I think Farf mentioned about the DRS training in his interview. Didn't he? Was it in his interview? I can't remember. We've had Carbrine, who's often in the wall, and we've got Kaz, who's got damage as well, and that's another retirement here, and another safety car. We're down to 14 drivers then, only on lap 7, and it's absolute anarchy tonight there, and Marski has got a severe collision for driving into the back of his teammate. Absolute anarchy here tonight in bronze, my goodness me. And Carbrine has left the session, and I'm wondering if driver's locked wheels or not, or if they was in the wrong place at the wrong time, whatever the case may be. Once out, the Ferrari, well, the Aston Martin in this case, even the Aston Martin coloured red, is got damage there as Kaz just catching up to the back now. But yeah, this is a very action-packed Austrian Grand Prix here tonight, isn't it? Goodness gracious me. It might go down as one of the longest sessions that we've ever had here in ALR. Goodness gracious me. And now, what is Brooksy going to do? Is he going to come into the pits? He is, the race leader has elected to yield track position here and come into the pits. Marski hasn't, nor has Sirius Mushroom. Brooksy's the only driver to come in the pits. Is this a mistake there for the race leader? It's great to see Brooksy at the top there, because you haven't seen him in the top for a very long time in ALR. I think it was back in Cobalt days. Kiki inside position then, but Brooksy coming out of the pits now. Swanshank's in the pits there as a Bullet is coming back in the session again then. Unfortunately, I don't think Bullet will be able to take control of his car, because his car is been officially disqualified. Into Swanshank's on the medium tyres. Kaz is come back into the pits now then, and Kaz has left the session now. Hopefully he can get back in, but goodness gracious me, if he can't get back in, we're down to 13 drivers in this one. Goodness gracious me, it's been action-packed galore here, and it comes out of the pits now, lap 8. So let's take stock then. The drivers are in the pits as Brooksy, is Swanshanks, and potentially Kaz if he gets back in the session then. So we've lost 6 drivers in this race after only 8 laps in this one. Goodness gracious me, absolute incredible stuff indeed. Billet very unhappy as he's just mentioned of how unfair it is. It is unfair, but I think unfortunately is such a shame then. But we've had it's the same for Serious Mushroom had in Spain, and we've had a load of other drivers that have had the same issue. Vintage and Kaz had the same issue here tonight. It is absolute horror. It is absolute disgraceful from the full F1 game tonight. It really is indeed. That they've just. It's not been on par at all. As into the pits comes Echo, who is who of course had a really good sprint race, but that feels like a long time ago now, doesn't it? Good heavens! He's into the pits there for the Alfa Romeo team. He's going to change tyres. He's on the hard tyre, and him and Brooksy do not need to come into the pits now. But if the hard tyres can get to the end from here, I would be absolutely astonished. There, Kaz is still not back in the session yet. Hopefully, he can get back in. Remember, if Kaz does not take control of his car, that car does not finish the race there. So hopefully Kaz can get back in. So Jenner leads the way now with Umabro in second position, both on the hard tyres. Marsky is on the medium tyres in third position. Fourth position is TK with Serious Mushroom in fifth, with Dynamo down in Duncan Dave fifth, sixth, seventh, and Scooby Stew in eighth position there. And Scooby Stew there is going to be loving life at the moment, I'm sure of it. He's doing a great job in eighth position with Kiki in ninth. Kaz is back in the session, fantastic. 10th position is Tomo, and Kaz, we're just going on board now. Hopefully he will take control of his car momentarily. 11th position is Brooksy. He's made a stop, and so is Swanshanks in 12th position, so is Echo in 14th position, and Kaz has in 13th as well. So hopefully I'll catch the restart this time, because I kind of almost missed it last time. We was concerned about what Car Brian was doing, but Car Brian out of the race then, and now we get going on that turn. We've had hardly any racing here tonight, have we? Goodness me, it's just been me talking absolute nonsense, hasn't it? But Jenner, can he get his third race win of his career? Can he get his second race win in a row then? And of course, if he does, he will be leading the champion. Well, actually, I can't say that because I have no idea what the points is at the moment after the sprint then. We're back racing then, and there comes, so that's it. Jenner leads. Second is Umabro. Third is Marsky. We've got TK and Serious Russia, both the Haas drivers in fourth and fifth. The championship leader, Duncan down in sixth. Duncan David seventh, Scooby Stew, Kiki ninth, and Tomo in 10th position. Make that. Oh, no, that's contacted the other McLaren as well. And Brooksy's gone into the back. There's Anarchy in turn one, and Swanshanks has got past there. And oh, goodness me, wrong place, wrong time. I hope Brooksy hasn't damaged the car. I have a feeling that Scooby Stew may have damaged the car, and I'm hoping it was just a glancing blow in out of turn one there. But yeah, that was a bit of a delay and a dollar short potentially there into turn one. I would hazard a guess then. But of course, in this race, this is a race where you can really get some good points there. Scooby Stew, I hope he hasn't got damage there. Now, I'm not sure if Kiki's got damage there. Tomo might have gotten away with it ever so slightly, because it was only a slight tap on the rear for the Alpine. But Kiki in his day before Alpine tonight, they're very much having an adventure, isn't he? Goodness me. Goodness gracious me. So Swanshanks, who has had a very tough start, he's only scored a point so far in this championship, is now going to be looking very interested to really get some more points in the bank account there. Same with Duncan Dave just in front of us as well. Brooksy as well. These are the drivers that needs these kind of days. So Scooby Stew has unfortunately had to come into the pit set, but there's a long way to go in this race still for Scooby Stew then, and I feel that there could be more action on the race. Echo's challenging Brooksy, and we've just got Swanshanks on the outside of Tomo as well. Tomo goes in deep there. Swanshanks going to go for the switcheroo, not quite on Brooksy, and Echo, he's trying to squeeze Echo, but Echo's having none of it. He is through, you know. Umabro has lost out to his teammate Marsky. I wonder if that might be because Marsky is now on the quicker tyre at the moment there. But Umabro is struggling there because look, Jenner is completely pulled away at this stage of proceedings, hasn't he? He's 2.2 seconds up now. Brooksy is back past Echo and moves himself. Oh, contact there and both spin, and goodness me, oh dear, and Brooksy and Echo have come to blows head, and Echo just returning. Tomo Tip Top has got a 3-second penalty. Just watching Swanshanks all over the back of the McLaren. He's just got a 3-second penalty here, and goodness me, DRS has now been enabled then, and hopefully we can get some racing. Look at the foreground there, the Serious Mushroom, and I think that is TK who's gone into Umabro as well. Goodness gracious me, that, and he's all over the back of the Alpha Tari driver, and Serious Mushroom's also in there as well. But look, Dynamo down then, he doesn't want to be involved in this. He wants to have a clean race, doesn't he? Serious Mushroom going to have a look up the inside there, but I think it's a bit of a tailor and short. Duncan Davis trying to go on the outside of Serious Mushroom there, but bailed out of it, I think. There is Serious Mushroom is about to take up his line once again. And goodness me, an action all the way up and down the field here tonight, isn't it? Good heavens, we ain't even at half distance yet. We're only on lap 12 out of 36 here. And my word, the drivers have been a bit sluggish, haven't they? I'm wondering if it's past their bedtime, because normally we would be done right now, wouldn't we, in ALR? But this elongated session here tonight is certainly been a bit of a surprise, hasn't it? And a difficult one as well for some drivers. TK, I thought he was going in the how to look there, wasn't he? But is very difficult to overtake into 9 and 10 there, isn't it? There is Jinner. He's serenely pulling away now from Marsky, but he's still in DRS, and Marsky might be able to help his teammate here and start to pull him along. Swan Shanks there all over the back of the McLaren here. Is he going to have a run there going up into turn 1 there? As he is, Swan Shanks is looking very impressive here, and Tomo has gone off the circuit there, and Swan Shanks may be able to get a run here. Has he got the DRS set? He has got the DRS, but Dynamo down there, and goodness gracious me, who's that then? That's what the Haas is a TK having a fight then, but Dynamo Dan trying to get involved in the action as well. Serious much DRS there for some reason. I'm not sure why. Surely he was in the 1 second of the car in front, but I'm surprised at that one. And nevertheless, Jinner is now being matched by Marsky. He is on the softer tyre. He is on the medium compound tyre, of course. There, however. It's something that Jinner, I don't think Jinner's going to be too concerned just yet then, because the gap is 2.5 seconds with the medium tyres. Will probably start to drop up. You mad bros up the circuit there. Whilst, goodness me, and has he got damage? He has got damage, you mad bro has. Goodness me, this race has been turned on its head once again here. And I'm just, you can't even write this to Brooksy, who's now going to be on younger tyres there. But the question is if he's going to come to pits or not. Brooksy does have a 3-second penalty though at the moment. Watching Serious Mushroom in 5th tonight, TK in 3rd at the moment there. So my goodness me, Dynamo Dan's going to be grinning from ear to ear as his rivals are falling by the wayside. Kaz up into a superb 9th position as well. You man bro in the pits, and I think that's a very early stop. Is he going to go onto the medium tyres? He is on the medium tyres now. It's going to put him on a 2-stop strategy now, I think, for the remainder of this race. And unfortunately for you man bro, we'll see how this one transpires. We've had a lot of action in this one. So you can't rule out any safety course or anything, because anything can happen in this race. Scooby Stew's got the fast lap of the race as well. Good stuff indeed there. Good innings. 2 seconds to gap into the front then between Marsky and Jinner. TK in 3rd at the moment. Dynamo Dan, the championship leader, in 4th, and he is trying to minimise the gap between himself and Jinner. Jinner is becoming his major championship rival at the moment. On board is Swan Shanks then, and he is really he's really getting the pedal to the metal flat out over the crest of the hill then, and here he is at the inside track position. And he is now in 7th. Can he get himself in front? Serious Mushroom in the pit. And now let's see then. So is this a scheduled stop then? I think it is a scheduled stop then for Serious Mushroom. Let's take a look. There's the Haas mechanics getting ready in the pit lane now. Of course, Haas were 8th from the constructors last year in bronze, or last time we raced in bronze, I should say. And that is no damage there for Serious Mushroom, and he has disappeared there. Goodness me, a bit of quantum leap. And Tomo Tip Top going back up the inside of Swan Shanks here. Swan Shanks would like to get away from this, and Scooby Stew has had an issue in the infield then, unfortunately. Hopefully he can get himself back going. And look at this, and Swan Shanks as a yellow flag. I think it's called Scooby Stew there, just getting himself back going as Swan Shanks back down into 7th position. Tomo does have a 3-second penalty, but of course he's going to be fighting every inch of the track then. Swan Shanks has pitted then, so he's got younger tyres at the moment. He's trying to use it to his dividends, but it's not working at the moment because he overtakes, but he then has to, then he's in the DRS, which means that as Tomo's gone very wide there, he's going to lose a lot of momentum there. So Swan Shanks is going to use all his years of experience there to do the old switcheroo up the inside track position of the McLaren, but Tomo tip top there, and he's now produced 6th position. Now Tomo down into 7th. Kaz is also there. He is then the Ferrari guest for one race only. Kaz is there because I think the Kaz there was in the Ferrari for the 100% race, was 100% league, wasn't he? So he might have thought it was a Wednesday. It does probably feel like a Wednesday, the amount of time we have been racing around here tonight. Good heavens there. And here comes Tomo Tip Top coming back out to Swan Shanks again. And Swan Shanks just cannot get out of that DRS range, can he? What an incredible battle between Swan Shanks and Tomo. This is a great for Tip Top. It's fantastic. But now this is invited Kaz and Brooksy to catch up as well. Brooksy's got a 3-second penalty, but the question question is, can Brooksy get to the end of this race? Echo is also going to be very interesting indeed, where he's going to get to the end as well, as he's done a lot less than Brooksy. Of course, they came to blows earlier on then, so that's why they're a little behind the 8 ball here. Swanshanks, oh my word there, but absolute graceful, but he's gone too wide there, and he's got a 3-second penalty, but that was a beautiful manoeuvre there from Swanshanks. It's a shame he got a penalty, but I love that, fantastic. So Serious Mushroom came in. Oh, goodness me, cars are having a look then. But I think this is never going to end well if you have a go into turn 9 then. And Brooksy all over the back of the Ferrari driver as well. And just as no, Marsky's lost out then. Marsky's down the order. And I'm wondering if it's a couple of laps too late then. Serious Mushroom's got a 7-second gap between himself and Kiki. And that is perfect for Serious Mushroom, because now he can get these laps and go for the undercut here. Has he gone too early? So those hard tires going to get to the end then. This is going to get very interesting. Remember what Serious Mushroom said though when he was watching the stream on Gold and Silver last night and Sunday. He was talking about strategy. This is exactly what he wanted to do. Scooby Stew has got a issue then. Scooby Stew has said, but there's only 14 cars remaining in this race, and I think that anyone who's still racing at the moment will get points then if they can survive to the end then. Swanshanks all over the back of the McLaren once again then. There's an almighty scrap then, but this is hurting Swanshanks' long-term race prospects here because of as a TK has lost as Marsky. Oh, goodness me, and Brooksy there lost the car, and I think he got an old switcheroo there into the pits. Comes one of the Ferraris, Duncan David to the pits there. And yes, I wonder if he got spooked there by Kaz, because Kaz had to brake quite suddenly there. And Serious Mushroom's got past the Aylin Brooksy, unfortunately. Out of the pits now comes one of the Ferraris. I think it was Dynamo down then, just watching Tomo, who's really hurting Swanshanks' race there, but that's not his problem there. Of course, Swanshanks will be racing his own race there as a yellow flag, and that's TK off the circuit there as well. My goodness gracious me. And you can't even take your eyes off of this race for an absolute split second, can you? My word there. And now we've got Echo, who's got past Kaz as well. Echo is now in the box seats. He has pitted now, but I'm not sure if he can get to the end of this race, but I have been wrong before. It's going to get very interesting indeed. As now Echo has moved as well to sixth position. In front of him is his teammate Swanshanks. He's on younger, harder tyres, but his race has been very heavily compromised by Tomo here. And Tomo, though, is not, as I said, he doesn't need to yield, does he? But Swanshanks is going to get very, very impatient at this stage, isn't he now? And he's going to try for a audacious manoeuvre. I think Tomo's coming in the pits. Are they both in the pits? Not. But that was a great manoeuvre there for Swanshanks to get some 3-second penalty. That's a great manoeuvre there for Swanshanks there to really help his teammate get through as well and minimise the loss of time then. As Kaz up into a superb 5th position now. He's loving that Ferrari, isn't he? Goodness gracious me. I wonder if he might ask for a transfer request after tonight. Fantastic. But his teammate Dynamo Dan, or for tonight anyway, is now in 7th position. But Serious Mushroom is in 6th position. Is in 8th position. I think Serious Mushroom would like to have got past that Ferrari, you know. But we'll soon find out then. But he is well in front of Duncan, Dave and Marsky and the drivers around him. So I don't think then it's not all too bad then. Boxtel, hello to you, Boxtel. Of course, the championship leader then for Gold, who is currently who's just enjoying the stream then. I'm probably wondering why we're on so late then. Well, we've had action galore in this race, and mainly because Bernd Mylander has kind of spoilt the race start for both sprint and the main race itself here tonight. So been very interesting indeed. I've never seen a safety car come out for a safety car restart, and it wasn't even raining either. He's got another 3-second penalty, unfortunately then, so that's going to be painful for him, isn't it? Jinner then has got a gap up to 10 seconds now as they TK made a mistake earlier on, which means that Jinner is very much in breathing space now. Jinner is going for his 3rd Grand Prix win of his career in ALR. This will also be his first time where he's won a race in succession here. Car's having a look then. So Swanshanks has now got a bit of clear air, or as much clear as possible, whilst his teammate is pulling him along very nicely indeed here, isn't he? There is Echo in the foreground. So I think Swanshanks would like to stay on that DRS as quickly as much as possible, because those medium tires are going to start to fall off now, and Kaz and Kiki are going to be very interested in this in the Alfa Romeo in front of Well, we're on lap 20 then. We haven't had any DNS for quite a while now, since lap 5 or 6. Goodness gracious me. And Ginner's into the pits then. So as he slows down, he needs to make sure he hits the line. And that is perfectly on your marks then for the man who's second in the World Championship. Of course, the win in the British Grand Prix. Who in the British Grand Prix might have elevated himself quite nicely indeed. That Brooksy's boxed too early. Percy said that he boxed under the safety car, didn't he? Brooksy did there. He's the only driver to do it out of the front runners. Echo takes the lead in this race, and with Alfa Romeo's his teammate Alfa Romeo Swanshanked up into second position. Kaz in third with Kiki in fourth position. Ginner's out right behind his teammate, and look in the background, Dynamo Dan is only 5 seconds away, but Ginner does have the fresher tyre here. He has the quicker tyre as well, and at the moment, if they all come in the pits, then he got caught behind the slower drivers, unfortunately. Percy is saying, and unfortunately, yeah, I think he also had a couple of spins as well, didn't he? As well, unfortunately for Brooksy, as him and Echo came to blows just around this part of the circuit here. A few laps ago, not this part, sorry, the part coming up there, which has also hurt Brooksy, unfortunately, which may hurt Echo as well later on. Then, but Echo leading the race out after he's taken his challenge out, starting at the back in the sprint race, made some great progress, didn't he, going up through the field. And now he is, unfortunately, before he had some issues, and then of course he had a couple more issues. That is into the pits. There comes Kiki. So Ginner had to brake ever so suddenly there. But look in the foreground here is this battle here between Kaz and Swanshanks there. This race is very much turned on its head. That's out the inside for the fry. Oh my goodness me! But Swanshanks just about keeping it in front here. And look, this is where Ginner needs to get past that. Goodness me, he's going to be boxed in though. Ginner is there. He had nowhere to go. Is he going to go on the inside? Not quite then, but the fry on the inside there. Ginner's going to go up and under. Great manoeuvre there for Ginner, and look at that, he blasts past both his rivals and takes second position. And now comes Swanshanks. Kaz is on the inside in turn 4, and Swanshanks are giving him plenty of room there, but that's because he wants to go in slow, out quickly to get another run then, but he can't get a good enough run because those medium tires are starting to really show some pain now in this race there. And Tom Tip Top's got another 3-second penalty. We look at the penalties in just a jiffy then. So Echo leads the way then, but I feel that his run at the front there may be coming to an end in the not too distant future. With Ginner on the medium compound tyres, lap 22 out of 36. On board the championship leader, Dynamo Dan. Look how much quicker he is. Ginner set the fast off the race there, but here comes Dynamo Dan. It is, he's had so many first lap incidents there, which most of them have been deemed not his fault there. He's been very unlucky in the opening couple of laps here. TK set the fast off of the race then, of course he made a mistake up in turn 2. He was our pole sitter. He's going to be very disappointed that he hasn't been able to convert that. However, he's still in the race there, and this is there's some golden points there. We do have a break after this race there, but TK can definitely reflect on this and come back stronger from the French Grand Prix and for the second half of the season then. We've only just going to reach half this at the end of the French Grand Prix, so is that now going through. Kaz there is not the usual teammate for Dynamo Dan. Kaz is I think Kaz was figured it was 100% league tonight, but he is dropped down into fourth position now. Kaz has up in the third coach Dynamo Dan. Kaz is normally driving the Aston Martin. He will be scoring points for Aston Martin, albeit he's in a red Aston Martin tonight. In the background you've seen Swanshanks, but then beyond Swanshanks you've seen a flash of white. That was Sirius Mushroom, who is on course for a podium at this moment in time then. When it all starts to sort itself out. And here is Sirius Mushroom now in 5th position there. And of course Sirius Mushroom doesn't normally qualify, does he? But he did race in the sprint race, and look at what he's doing there because he's high up the order, and it's good to see, isn't it, for Sirius Mushroom. And he's now got a second and a half between himself and Kaz. Swanshanks has gone onto the soft tyre here. That is going to be a stretch for the softs, I feel. And here comes Duncan Dave having a look on the inside of Brooksy, but he was a bit too far back. TK is right on the gearbox of the Aston Martin as well. Duncan Dave who's struggled so far this season, but of course he scored points in Silverstone, didn't he? Some nice points as well in Silverstone, and again a catalyst similar to TK potentially. This could be a catalyst there for him to really kick on then. Gap at the front is down to 1.2 seconds there, and TK trying to go on the outside, and look, he's spun into Marsky and damage to the to the Haas car, and going on the outside of there I think was not a good idea, and unfortunately unfortunately, TK has got major damage. What about Marsky? Marsky went to Solomon quite heavily, and as he got damaged, Marsky has. He doesn't look like it. I'll be surprised the AlphaTauri doesn't have damage there, but that was quite a whack there, wasn't it? That he went into the side of the Haas car. TK then, I think that if he's got another set of medium boots, he might go onto them. He might go onto the soft tyres like Swan Shanks, but I think that might be a bit of a tall order potentially. Look, there's the battle at the front. Then Jenner going for his third Grand Prix win of the season. Echo will love a podium here. I gotta say that Echo may not have the pace, and he's trying to go. He's trying to have an audacious strategy, similar to Brooksy, but I think they might be hoping for a safety car or something in the last stage of this race to really get the big points here. But at the moment, I feel that those two drivers on the medium tyres, and Kaz as well. I apologise to Kaz. Good heavens, and Kaz as well. I feel that those drivers there may struggle to get to the end at a competitive race pace. But of course, I have been wrong before. I'm probably wrong on this occasion as well. But I'd say that I'm maybe being a negative Nancy than a positive Pete on this one. Here comes Jenner now at the inside of Echo. Lovely stuff indeed, and he retakes the lead of the Austrian Grand Prix. Can Echo try and come back at him? And he doesn't have DRS, and Echo doesn't, but he's going to try and use a bit of slipstream there for the Alpine, and Echo down into the second position now. And Cirrus Mushroom now up into fourth position, getting past Kaz. Kaz has done an extra 9 laps on his hard tyres compared to Cirrus Mushroom. Looking back there, Cirrus Mushroom, I don't think, of course, he pitted a couple laps earlier than everyone else around him, but I don't think anyone is going to be in the facility to cause Cirrus Mushroom too much issues at the moment there. But 10 laps to go, a lot can change in this Grand Prix, and normally does it, but Cirrus Mushroom looking strong at the moment, and of course he is now 6 seconds away from Echo with 10 laps to go, and Echo's pace I think is going to be dropping off more and more as this race goes on. Jenner leads the way then as he is on the medium tyres, and I think that Jenner is looking very strong for his third race win of the season now, and that would be the most out of anyone, any of the active drivers in bronze in this season then. And goodness me, Jenner is in a really rich run of form, isn't he? Oh my goodness gracious me. Dynamo Dan is third at the moment, and I think he's still aiming for second at the moment, isn't he? Dynamo Dan is a yellow flag in the final turn as Scooby Stew has had an issue there. He has returned to the track then, but it looks like Scooby Stew had a half a spin into turn 9 and 10 now. Echo is keeping up with Jenner quite nicely here at the moment, isn't it? There's Dynamo down the background, 4 seconds the gap is the moment now, and then Cirrus Mushroom. I'm wondering if Echo is thinking that potentially he might be thinking about keeping ahead of Cirrus Mushroom then, and that might also be the showdown for driver of the day as well, which of course will be put up in the poll in just a jiffy. And there is the movers then, which Echo's been gone at 10 position, Kaz is at 14 position, mega stuff indeed there. Cirrus Mushroom of course went from the back of the field up into 6th position in the sprint race, and now up into 4th now, and looking on course on points as well. Goodness gracious me, it's a horror show of a day then for TK and Umadbro, who would like to have got some major points in this one, but unfortunately it's all unraveled, hasn't it here? Jenner then with a new teammate with Kiki. Kiki then is on course for some points as well, which I think he'd be very happy. I think Kiki would be very happy if he can get some points after a very difficult debut in the Alpine, but I think that it'll only be more difficult if he doesn't score points. Tomo is in he's got a 3-second penalty, Tomo, so I think that penalty situation is starting to get slightly out of control for the McLaren driver, and that may cost him points. And Swan Shanks then, who would love to have open get some more points on his card on there. Driver of the day candidates is Echo, Jenner and Kaz Smith, what might you saying? So we'll put that poll up in just a jiffy as well here in the final stage of this race. And Duncan Dave is all over the back now of Brooksy. There he is. Edwards not over the back just yet, is he? But he will soon be. I'm quite impressed with Kaz's pace here on these 20-lap old tyres. Look, that car is understeering like crazy though, isn't it? And but Kaz there is doing an absolutely splendid job out there. Really is indeed in the Ferrari. Absolutely mega stuff indeed. I think he might ask for a transfer request at the moment, isn't he? As I said already, he's doing a brilliant job in the Ferrari. and really pushing on. Brooksy, who they're all starting to condense down into each other, aren't they? So this is going to be a very hotly contested final 7 laps here in the Austrian Grand Prix. Duncan Dave 5/10 second back now, so surely he'll be hoping to get past Brooksy this lap or the next lap then, and then his next target can be Kaz as well. Not only a couple of drivers have got points at the moment, but Brooksy, Duncan Dave, this will be his best result of his career and of the season if he can carry on this way at the moment. Swanshanks there, who's currently out of the points, and I think in terms of penalties, then they 14 seconds there, so he's already in front, and he's also in front of TK as well. But TK will be quicker than Swanshanks later on then, because those medium tires I think should get to the end no problemo. But I'm not sure about those soft tires. They're going to be screaming towards the end, I think, for Swanshanks. So Swanshanks may, I think it's going to be, it might be a bit, I think it may be a bit of a stretch for Swanshanks to get points here tonight, but anything can happen still in this one. Of course, we still got 6 more laps to go. This race has been a very calm atmosphere since the absolute carnage that really was his opening stint to this race. Good heavens there. But Duncan Daper, 3/10 of second back at the moment, and going into turn 1 then. He has DRS here, and here he comes, and he's all over the back now of the Red Bull. Here he comes in. Is he going to go for it? He does go for it. Yellow flag on the final turn, and Brooksy is trying to defend then, but Duncan Dave up the inside track position, but Brooksy back up the inside there, and of course set him up there, and Duncan Dave is going to have another bite of cherry now, isn't he? So I'm surprised that Echo's pace there is still pretty hot, you know. It's still 3 seconds the gap is. I thought that Echo would have dropped off quite dramatically. Same with Kaz as well. Those drivers are doing and Brooksy, they're doing absolutely magnificent out there on those 20 or so older tires. So that's magnificent. It really is indeed there. Hats off to those drivers, and Echo certainly could be very much one to talk about for this race. And magnificent stuff indeed there. But yeah, coming through the final turn, Kaz has a 3-second penalty. You know that could cost him majorly. But still, Kaz on course for some points. And oh goodness me, though. But Kaz has really lost a bit of his momentum here. As he's done 25 laps on those hard tires. Look in the background. There's Marsky, Brooksy on the outside here. Brooksy's only got 2 laps younger than Mark, and look at that then on the outside, but Brooksy's gone wide and he's gone over that sausage curb, and now here comes the rest of the gaggle here. Kaz there, I don't think it's got the hasn't got the momentum there, as we've got a Alpine off there, and I'm not sure if that's you mad bro. I think it is you mad bro, because Marsky's right underneath the gearbox. Swanshanks has passed Tomo as well, as Tomo's had an issue at the top of the hill there, and you mad bro has been disqualified for driving the wrong way, and I think he was stuck, wasn't he? But you mad bro out of the race there and down to 13 cars in this one. Tomo also recovering as well. Goodness gracious me. Absolutely. Brooksy's off the circuit. He's in the wall quite heavily there. And is that going to be... We got 5 laps to go. I think that won't be a safety car. But Brooksy's incredible run. Those tires have come to nothing. And now Duncan Dave up in 4th position. And what about Echo? It's Kaz and Echo now trying to get to the end on these tires. And my goodness gracious me. It's absolutely monstrous stints at the moment there. Thank you very much to whoever put the driver of the day in, because I was trying to do it, but I kept looking up there. Thank you. Yeah, so Brooksy into the pits now, and there he comes in on the hard tires, but I think that's Brooksy's chances of points then coming to naught, unfortunately. Echo is still 2.5 seconds in front of Diamond Down with 4 laps to go. Yellow flag in the background there is, I'm not sure, it's Brooksy now onto the soft tires. He might be able to get a point, and might be able to get past that point here, so hats off to him. Echo there, driver of the day with 75% of the vote, then 20% for Duncan Dave at the moment, who's driving a superb job out there. Kaz, who's also the other nomination for driver of the day. We'll keep an eye on that as we're in the final stage of this one then. But Marsky also in 6th place as well. Marsky, a shout out for him now, who's had a difficult start to this season as well. Unfortunately, both McLarens are now 13th and 12th position and not getting any points in this one. Back on board with Duncan Dave, and this is the closest battle on track moment. We've got 4 laps to go in this one. Oh no! Duncan Davis off the circuit, and oh my goodness me! And Oh, absolute heartbreak for Aston Martin's Duncan Dave. Tomo took top has left the session there, so that's not too good, is it? Duncan Dave, I don't think he's got damage, has he? But that is such a shame now, because he was driving the performance of the season, and he's down in 8th position now, and I think that he's going to have he's thrown away 10 points here. TK into the pits, also on soft tires as well. Swanshanks up to a superb 9th position now. TK 10, Brooks 11, Tom top in 12th position, Scooby Stew in 13th position. We have got Jinner, who is now 4.5 seconds in front, but it is an incredible drive. Look at this man here, fantastic. Well, we're not going to look at this man. Scooby Stew's at the fast side of the race. Can he get another point then into his account? And Brooksy trying to get back past TK. Not quite done, but TK who's gone in slightly deep then, and Brooksy going to have a look now. He will have DRS then, and it is a fight then between two drivers. It was definitely, in my mind, going to be battling for potentially the race win, or at least a podium here tonight, but however, that is not transpired, has it, at all? And you know what I have forgot about? Is that penalty that is Echo has got there, that 3-second penalty. We're going to keep an eye on that. 5-second penalty for Duncan Dave there for speed in the pit lane. It's all kind of bit unraveled now for Duncan Dave. One absolute heartbreak there. Brooksy's gone off the circuit, and here comes TK coming back at him now, and TK back up into 9th position. He's got no 10th position. He's got no penalties though, whilst Brooksy has 6 seconds of penalties. He's gone wide there, and that may also incur the wrath of the stewards. As out of the pits now comes Duncan Dave, and Duncan Dave, what a shame then. He should be in 5th position, shouldn't he, really? And that is absolute devastation. And look, there he comes out of the pits now. So we're going to have a bit of a soft, you're going to have a bit of a qualifying race now. They're all on soft tyres. They're going for fastest lap, and also going for these final points as well. Duncan Dave does have a 5-second penalty, but at the moment now, Brooks behind him has a 6-second penalty. Tom is out of the race then, and TK's off the circuit. Goodness gracious me then. And TK has no penalty temple. Unfortunately, he has gone off the circuit. He needs to get within 6 seconds of Brooksy and 5 seconds of Duncan Dave if he wants these points. Brooksy and Duncan Dave are having an almighty scrap, aren't they, for the final point at the moment. Now this is going to get very feisty indeed then. Second to last up in this race. Is he going on the outside here? Where is he? There he is. He's gone up and under. Duncan Dave is up into 9th position now, but Brooksy still wants that position, doesn't he, here? The votes are still open then, of course, and as we go over the crest of the hill, having a look on the inside, but no dice set. Oof. Well, I must say that I very much earned my bucks tonight, and I'm hoping for some Milky Ways after this one, and I'm hoping. TK, who's I feel that this race has been quite challenging for a lot of drivers, hasn't it? There, a lot of drivers are going to be very frustrated about the glitches that have happened here tonight. No fault of anyone, I would say, is more down to the EA Sports, unfortunately. Dynamo Dan is now got to within a second then of Echo, but Echo, he is my driver today. He's been supreme. Kaz has also been supreme as well. Somehow kept those tyres going, which I thought they wouldn't be able to get to the end then. And I really thought the Serious Mushroom would be able to get a podium here tonight. So, but another 4th position for Serious Mushroom is very good indeed then. But Echo is going to be absolutely buzzing with this one tonight, because I think he drove superbly well. He will finish 3rd, I think, no, because of course of that 3-second penalty. And Dynamo Dan is trying to minimise the pain, of course, after the issues that he had in the sprint race. But he's got himself back up into 2nd in this one, as Kaz dropping down into 7th position now. Swanshanks in 8th position, and looking strong there for some good points here. We'll have to wait and see though how it finishes then, but my word, this has been a brutal one indeed, hasn't it, here tonight? Goodness me, I think that we're all going to be happy for the break after this one. And here comes Jenna then into the final turn. TK's got that fastest up then, and on lap 35, and Jenner wins his 3rd race of the season. He wins the Austrian Grand Prix, and that is a statement win there for Jenner, isn't it? And he is very much now hot on the heels of Dynamo Dan here tonight with those incredible performances in the sprint and in tonight's race as well. Remember, he had a difficult start to the sprint, but yet he came home to finish in a superb, I think it was 4th, wasn't it, in the end, or something like that. And then And then in the race, he controlled the race absolutely splendidly well, didn't he? He was on the hard tyres and an absolutely incredible drive there for Jenner. Dynamo Dan finished second state and minimising the issues there. But once again, Dynamo Dan involved in some first corner melee. We'll ask him about that at the end of this one. Swan Shanks is in a superb 8th position, and that's a great drive for Swan Shanks. A great drive for Kaz as well. As Brooksy, I think, is just come across the line in a 10th position as well. And TK will get the final points, I think. Get a fastest lap point as well then, but goodness gracious me, only 12 cars finished this race in the end, the 20 that started, but what an incredible tough race that was. Of course, Austria is quite a tough demanding race then, but my goodness gracious me. Driver of the day definitely goes to Echo. And Serious Motion, brilliant drive indeed there for as well. But Kaz, but I think that it was just the story of the hard tires of how they got to the end there. It's supreme stuff indeed. Kiki, if I didn't hit the wall on the first corner after the safety car restart, I would have got a podium there, and that would have been the perfect start to his Alpine career, wouldn't it then? Jenner getting his second Grand Prix win of the season. Superb stuff indeed there for the Alpine driver. Sorry, his third Grand Prix in the season. I say his second in a row, with the Ferrari in second position, and third position was the Alfa Romeo then. Kaz had 75% back rear tyres then, which was quite that's quite ridiculous really, how Echo and Kaz got to the end there on those very worn tyres then. Right, let's take a final look at the classification then from this very elongated Austrian Grand Prix. Probably one of the longest races that we have had in all of ALR. Goodness gracious me. Of course, we do have a break next week, of course, which I'm going to definitely, I think I definitely need after that one. Jenner, third race win of the season then, and he is very much hot on the heels now. Dynamo Dan, a great recovery drive from Dynamo Dan to finish second today after the issues he had in the sprint. Echo, what an incredible drive as well there, from 20th on the grid up in the sprint race, and then getting from 12th on the grid up into third as well on those very worn tyres. Serious Mushroom in fourth, Marsky in fifth, Kiki in sixth on his debut, Kaz in seventh, Swan Shanks eighth, Duncan Dave in ninth, Brooksy in 10th position, TK gets the fast lap on 11th, Tomo Tip Top retired from the race, and Scuba Stew in 12th in the end. Our retirements is you mad bro, that guy, Styles, Collins, Sigismund and Billa all retired from this race, and of course Vintage, who did not take the restart as well. And I think Jinner's in with me now as well. Jinner, what an incredible performance here tonight, and this is your second race win in a row after that incredible performance in Silverstone, and now you're hot on the heels of the championship leader.
I was a bit gutted when I spun in sprint, but I managed to get back to fourth, so then it was just from there. It was all about strategy, really.
And talk us about the sprint for a second, if you can. Then, was it your own mistake then? Because there was all kinds of anarchy going on in the sprint. Then, what happened there?
No, it was all myself. I just pushed it a bit too much.
And then in the race itself, but you had a great recovery drive actually in the sprint to get yourself back up to, I think it was third in the end or something like that. Goodness me, it's so long ago now. And then in this race, then you just controlled that race. So you started on the hard tyres. Was you concerned about the medium runners around you?
No, because it started races, everybody's near each other and they're all fighting, so it slows them down. So it will like keep on hard, save tyres, and just go along.
And then, of course, once you took the lead, then once you came up the pits, then you took the lead quite comfortably at those medium tyres as well. And it was just about concentration and get to the end then. And you seem to be in a rich run of form. I think the Silverstone was one of your incredible race wins of your career, but today, I'd say that keeping your head in the sprint race was surely the main factor in this one, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, definitely. We just, when I spun, I just knew, and it was like, no, I'm not doing this again. So yeah, just got on with it.
And Dynamo Dan, who's on the podium next to you tonight then. But goodness me, you're starting to close in on him now then. And it is going to get very, very feisty then with you two going into, well, we've got a break next week, unfortunately. So I bet you're a bit disappointed by that, aren't you?
No, I can get some practice in. I like the next couple of tracks that are coming up. So I'm hoping for a wet France, to be honest.
You need to go to silver. That's the
Uh,
fourth one, isn't it?
yeah.
Well done, Stage Dinner. Fantastic stuff. Your third race winner of your season. And of course, you're really putting the pressure on Donovan Dan. Donovan Dan, you came second today. But I think that was definitely points saved rather than points lost. Would you agree with that?
100%. I'm looking forward to a week off after that. I feel like I've done a day at work.
You and me both. Gosh. But what happened in the sprint race in turn one? Because it looked like that there was all anarchy behind the top three or four, because we was focusing on the battle at the front, and all of a sudden there was a bit of a queue in turn one, then turn two. What was going on?
I think on turn one, whoever's on the inside just didn't brake in time, so I went into the side of my car and went round the bend, so that spun me. And the guy did it again next lap to someone else, but he didn't finish the race, funny enough.
And unfortunately, I don't want to bring up the negative here, but we will finish on the positive. But you've been involved in a lot of first lap incidents in the last couple of races. Then Vettel had the same issue in 2008. Then how? This is the most difficult question that you're probably going to answer today. But how do you avoid all that kinds of anarchy in turn one? There, because you seem to be very unlucky at the moment.
It's difficult because you can't really slow down because you've got cars behind you. So I think some tracks are more difficult on the first turn. Like this track especially is quite narrow turning into. So you've got mayhem turning into the first bend. But that's the benefit of getting pole position and getting out there first.
Is that your Achilles heel at the moment? Is qualifying?
Yeah, that and just getting off the line.
But you're still lean. Yeah, it's all right once you get going. Then you just need to practice practice to get warmed up. But you'll still lead the championship then as we get into the halfway stage almost next race. So you said a couple of weeks ago that it might be very difficult to keep that championship lead then, and it is starting to whittle down now. What is your tactics going into the French Grand Prix?
It'd be the same as before, just consistency and just hope for the best, really. It's not purely up to me. Jinner's really fast, so if he's in the lead and takes off, then it'll be a very big challenge to catch him.
And goodness me, it'll be a challenge that we're all going to be looking forward to. Well done today, Donovan. Great save, great save. And let's come to Echo, who, you took the challenge quite literally there. As you, of course, you started from the back of the grid in the sprint. You flew all the way up to, I think it was 6th or 5th at one stage. And then you got knocked back down. And then in the race as well, then you just flew all the way back up to 3rd. And incredibly, you survived all those laps on those hard tyres. But firstly, talk about the sprint.
Yeah, it was an amazing start. I don't know how I did it or what happened. I don't know if I just turned into God for a second, but yeah, that first few laps was incredible. Had contact with someone, and yeah, really annoying because I had the line and everything and just got spun, so that kind of like pushed me down the field. And then, yeah, I'm just so stressed at the moment.
I'm going to make you more stressed now because the race itself, you came in the pits fairly early on. I can't remember if was it a strategical call? Did you have damage? I can't remember, to be honest.
No, it was just going for it. I knew that some people were pitting already, and then some people was going to stay out. So it was a case of don't I? And I was like, you know what, screw it. Just going to go get the hard tyres on, see how long I can take them. If needs be, I can go on soft at the end of the race.
So by the sounds of it, then you were just playing it by ear rather than thinking that those hard tyres can go to the end then. And of course, unfortunately, you and Brooksy had a bit of a coming together there in the infield of Austria. Of course, it's very difficult around that turn there. But do you think that cost you second today? Or maybe even the win, actually?
No, because my tyres at the end were on like 60, 65%, so I was going to be a lot slower anyway. It was just one of them things... just racing instant. I've already spoken to Brooksy in the Discord chat, and everything's fine between us anyway. It was just one of them things. Honestly, I wasn't even planning on getting a podium, just a top 10 finish, really, from obviously starting P20 in a sprint and P12 in the main race, and then of course with all the issues that was going on today, it was just stressful and tired. So it's, it was a case of damage limitation for me, really.
Well, that is your fourth podium of the season now. You seem to be really racking them up then. I think since Miami, you've been on a rich run of form, to be fair, though. You've had 3 podiums since then. And you are really starting to put together quite a fine season then. It's there is a gap between yourself and fifth place at the moment. But do you think you can whittle that down with the front runners seem to be a bit inconsistent at the moment?
Maybe we'll just wait and see what happens. Of course, like you said, I've had quite a few podiums since the new year, but there have been times when I've struggled as well. Monaco being one of them, I retired quite early on, and then Saudi Arabia as well, just before the restart. Well, yeah, just before the new year. So like, there are definitely going to be tracks out there in the future that I'm going to struggle at. But like you say, it's just trying to now be consistent compared to those that aren't as consistent, with all due respect. So as long as I can finish top 6 every race, then I don't see why not.
And we don't see why not either. Fantastic stuff today. Well done to all our 3 podium sitters. That was brilliant stuff. And luckily for you guys, you won't be hearing from me now for for at least a week, because I'm going to go into hibernation then. But don't worry about that. Alex is on hand for tomorrow for the the 100% race in France then. So that's a bit of a preview to whet your appetite then for when ALR returns in a week's time then in the French. It's not Riviera, is it? But it's just the French Grand Prix in Paul Ricard. We'll see you there. I'll see you there. Alex will see you tomorrow. Goodbye.